Yo, what's up, everybody? It's YouTube. It's Kick. It's everybody. Everyone. How you doing? Big Friday. Big Friday.
还是我来吧，小子，你先出去吧。
啊，也行吧。哎，先说好，车坏了可别怪我哦。
行了，小子，准备下，快点出发吧。
Oh yeah. Let me talk to that guy. Hold up. You know, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about I've seen a lot of people talk about, for example, like fighting games failing. Um, and of course, people talking about
应该就是这儿了吧？
Tekken 8 being really, really, really bad. And everybody, I don't know if y'all seen, but recently on the Tekken 8 story, right? The storyline of Tekken 8.
算了，
Hold up, I forgot. I gotta do the storyline on Tekken. Something is happening. Let's be real. Do not be fooled. One of the directors of the game said something around the lines that, yeah, we found some bugs and some things working not intended, and there were only 3 things, so the game is supposed to be like that. Y'all got me fucked up. That shit, like, if you ever told me that, you know, Tekken was supposed to look like that, I just would have said ew back in the day. Like, god damn. And I like, you know, no, I don't play Tekken anymore. It's not because of a patch. I didn't really like fuck that heavy with Tekken 7. It's just that when I was interested in Tekken, in playing Tekken, none of my friends, nobody really wanted to play with me, right? Everybody was like, yeah, Tekken, ew. And then when I decided to like not play Tekken, right? I said, nah, fuck all that. I swear to God, basically 70% of the people that I was like trying to convince to play Tekken started playing Tekken. I tried to play like Tekken 6, Tekken Tag with them, and it's just no, and then came up. And now everybody is like, it's funny because I play with some of my friends, and sometimes I don't, like, some new friends, I don't play with the other ones. But I actually understand a lot of Tekken and how the 3D fighters were supposed to be because I studied a lot on Tekken 6, right? Sometimes I get it wrong because they changed for example, the tech, the way the tech works in the new Tekken, right? But I understood so much that I actually pick up characters that I never played before, and I go on streaks with them, And you know, they actually learn a lot of shit, like looking at YouTube and looking even at professional players when the game wasn't that bad, right? But now I'm just vortexing people, but whatever. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that the game is incredibly bad. Like, I'm being honest, if Maximilian is like, yeah, this game is not it. You gotta like, you've done something wrong. Normally he tries to say something around the lines of, yeah, this is not for me, actually. You know, a game can be the most egregious shit. If there's people enough that care about the game, he will say something around the lines that is not for me. I'll try to pop the and Tekken, you know, the developers looking at the game and saying that there's only 3 things with the game that are wrong is really infuriating for the people that play, because everything is wrong, technically speaking. Shit was not supposed to like look to itself. The vortex defense. Forcing, you know, it's kind of fucked up to say, but it all started with Street Fighter V, right? You know, Street Fighter 4, even if you hated Street Fighter 4, I understand hating Street Fighter 4, right? But the idea of, like, the only way I can explain is like, yeah, imagine if everybody was Sagat. And it's weird to explain that way, because the only way is like, okay, so this guy has a EX move that he can go forward, and he's basically plus, not plus, but safe. When you talk with people about like, okay, so Sagat is the best character in the game. No. No, but the character is really good because of this, right? Tekken basically did the same shit. Or there are characters that they don't need to space themselves, right? Oh, they it's basically, yeah, you can go forward and not space yourself, right? But it's not like Sagat, because Sagat had to actually space himself to get the thing. There's a lot of other players that played Bonchan, right? And said that, yeah, Sagat is really strong, but you can make that shit with, at least, right? But now in Tekken is like, yeah, the problem is when you are forced to press a button, right? And Street Fighter V was basically the first one that basically gave this idea that you're always forced to press a button, unless, right? And I think a lot of people won't like that I say stuff like this, right? But the idea is that there were whole seasons where you couldn't deck on the game, that the characters had like pressure post, fucking throw loop, not throw loop, but throw tag, right? Even if you tag, he still has pressure on you. It's really weird, and people stood still and played it, right? That's the problem. They saw this little gap that we gave them, and they just abused it. someday I want to really talk about that idea. But it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Oh, I have the silicon style! Yes, sir! I didn't know. I thought you only unlocked this style when you got the second boss. Oh, yeah. There is music in the game, but I'm not listening to it somehow. Let me look at the sound, whatever. Nice. Yeah, now it's destroying my fucking ear. Nice. Only got 2 of those, you know. Can you imagine like a backlash bigger than Tekken 8? It's kind of weird to even think about it. The backlash from the community was incredibly, like, it's absurd the level that people were complaining about the game. But somehow they're not trying to fix that. They don't even think it's like a problem, a real problem. We're just bluffing, guys, for sure. Why do I close this shit? Hold on. Local streamer sucks. Oh shit. And then I realized that a lot of people were talking, not that, you know, not about the system of the game, but there are a lot of people on the internet talking about how the genre is kind of fucked. Right? Recently, Nen Impact, people were complaining about Nen Impact, right? And since I love, like, where I'm at is like perfect, the perfect spot on the sun. Because I see people complaining about this is so sick, by the way. I see a lot of people complaining about how the FGC wants X and Y and Z, and when the X, Y, and Z align, they don't want to support the game, right? Like complaining that games are kind of sanitized nowadays. Let's go that route first. That the developers are kind of curating the game so hard that the game just isn't fun anymore. But then Nen Impact actually has that shit, but nobody wants to play it. It's really depressing to see, right? And I love being in the middle of this, right? Because I actually agree with some people and I agree with some other people, you know? So my Twitter page is never like a echo chamber, and even like opinions that I really dislike, I'm glad that I see that shit. Back in like 2016, 2014, we were in a tough place because of the idea that people only had one point of view, right? Oh shit, I parried instead of dodging. God damn. The camera is going crazy. What's the name of the game? The name of the game is Spirit Cross Strike. I think it's a Korean dub. And people are calling the game like a spiritual successor to God Hand. No problem, man. And then we look at the. Oh, no, it's not. And then there are people saying, well, the state of this game is like unacceptable. Since the netcode is basically, the netcode apparently is the same people that worked with, I don't know, something like Marvel vs. Capcom, the original one. I'm not sure about that, because it's, you know, Dimps and people, and Bing 8 is the name of the company. But I digress, you know. Oh, no, I lost the target. The netcode feels like horrible. I seen people playing and I'm like, yeah, this shit is it really looks like Marvel 3, like, god damn, this shit. They're not even playing the same game, you know. To be honest, it's really unacceptable. It's kind of sad. The netcode is really sad. It doesn't matter if the guy is right or wrong, right? Get off the bike, buddy. This is not Midnight Club. But then there are people complaining about, like, and there are people basically complaining about the state of the single player in that game. And I'm not saying that they are wrong about complaining about it, right? But I think some people say that, you know, the people complaining are wrong because it doesn't have enough features, right? But I don't feel. I feel in a certain way about content in fighting games that other people don't feel like, you know? I feel different about all that stuff to begin with. And someday I hope I do a video explaining, because there's a sweet spot where you should expect something from the devs, but you shouldn't expect the story mode or tour mode or nothing like that. You should expect something, right? There's no way. I'm always like into advocating for. I'm always into advocating for single player, but the way single player been worked since 2008, it's like, yeah, you guys are insane. You guys are insane. And you know, the sad part is that you gotta propose something that is not. I'm being honest, I don't remember where this character has a gap. I'm kind of fucked. Oh, I was in the wrong style. God damn. The third style is my favorite since you actually get a punish. But since I don't have it, I gotta go for parry. Oh god. The punish sucks so much. I forgot you like level up my character. I'm dumb. Oh god, that. What? No, no, no. I'm in the wrong. I hate that combo. Yeah. You know, in lower difficulties, you actually have a cue. Not a cue, but the visual effect of what attack is coming, and it's really good. In this version, you just get slapped the fuck out. Oh yeah, I need to dodge that shit. Not parry. It's so weird. Like in the future, that will actually work in other characters, but in this character it doesn't. Like technically speaking, in this game there's a progression to the strength of the characters. This character is not as strong as the disciple that you fight. You're like. But somehow she just has super armor on every counter hit. Meanwhile, the other guy doesn't. Your master doesn't have that much like. crazy super armor. Get it? Bullshit. That's some bull. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that one is fucking absurd. Oh my god. You know, the first two stages, I don't know about them. I don't know about them, you know. I prefer the other, the boss rush. And yeah, I really, it's just because it's simpler. It's easier. But yeah, in terms of single player fighting games, I really think people should adjust their expectations, but not really adjust their expectations, but the developers should present those expectations in a way that is actually meaningful, right? The problem with arcade endings and all that cool stuff that back in the day actually worked and nowadays it doesn't, is not that, it's not because it's old and it doesn't work anymore. It's because they don't want to present it in a way that people will enjoy it, right? And I would say that there is evidence, not for that, but there's evidence that fighting games are basically flawed as shit. Like really, really flawed. Could be a bonus. Okay. The like people back in the day were already trying to solve the problem that actually not killed fighting games, but killed fighting games, right? Which is the lack of single player content, the lack of, and you know, it's fucked up because if you propose to me that we should play a single player fighting game, maybe I would actually pick a game like Street Fighter 1 to play and Fatal Fury. But those games are not the ones that people are talking about online, right? I prefer playing those games than actually going for, oh, you know, I don't even remember, Virtua Fighter, maybe? People are not talking about Virtua Fighter. Street Fighter Alpha. The King of Fighters. No, I don't remember the other game. It's actually Capcom vs SNK. No, it's the King of Fighters 98 on the Neo Geo Pocket. You know, maybe even. Yeah. And I would prefer to play a simpler game than that one, than actually going for a game. Than actually going for a game like the tour mode or even Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna say Mortal Kombat 9 really goated. I can't complain about that game, you know. Can't even go against that shit. It's really good. But I don't think that, you know, I don't think that Japanese companies, right, should actually try to compete against the American Warner Brothers, against the Warner fucking Brothers, or Microsoft, which is I forgot the name of the game, Killer Instinct. You know, Killer Instinct had a killer story mode. Oh, really? Really? Did he? Okay. Microsoft produced a AAA game? No shit. You tell me. Oh god. And you know, to be I'm being honest when I say this, I don't think there is a way for us to actually change that. It's I like to discuss shit. I like to discuss shit on my channel, and I like to talk about games. But I'm not delusional, right? Even if I had like big ass numbers in my videos, I wouldn't be delusional. Ain't nobody listening. Ain't nobody listening. Every discussion we have about fighting games, none of them have no effect. They all have no effect. Like the community and people complaining about stuff on Twitter and shit, they have no effect. Because there's like a pipeline of people. Why the parries are so tough in this fucking... We discuss it because it's interesting, right? I really think about that. I discuss it because it's interesting. Recently, I talked to a guy that basically... Hold up, there's people calling me. I was talking about... Alright, got some muffin. So yeah, now... oh yeah, I think there's no way to parry because the only parry that works on claw guys is the red one. Oh god. So yeah, I was talking with a guy that works for companies. He actually advises companies on fighting games because he played fighting games, right? A lot, and he basically sells his whatever. And I call it the soccer effect, where the only people that are actually heard. I'm getting my shit kicked in. I dodged the shit, but okay. And since he advises, he said that a lot of the other people that advises in fighting games are professionals. I call it the soccer effect because in soccer there is like this joke with me and my friends that there is no, like, you cannot be a trainer in soccer without playing soccer professionally, right? But the problem is that the coaches, trainers, you know, they, like, coaching a game and playing a game is not the same shit. You can be, like, you gotta understand that people play differently, like. So what happened? Let's get a name of a famous player that works with companies to create games, right? Marlin High is actually like a good ass player. He has a set of interests, right? That it speaks to him. So when he's judging a character, it's more of his, like, ideals coming out of his mouth, you know. But then the idea would be, well, if you get enough, like, a big enough sample, of professional players, then you finally will actually have the different play styles covered, right? I'ma be real, not really. It's not what we've seen. It's not what we've seen happen. I like to think in a stupid way, right? Let's say we divide the FGC into waves, right? And we get the Third Strike wave, the Street Fighter 2 wave, and the Street Fighter 4 wave. What are the chances that the Street Fighter 4 people actually played Dawson I'm gonna be real. Let's get for KOF since I'm kind of more into it. Let's divide it into waves. 98, 2002, 13. Firstly, 13 doesn't even have like a real zoner, a real KOF zoner. It might shock you, right? But there is no real KOF zoner. So if you get the sample all from the King of Fighters 13, you will never comprehend how a real KOF zoner works, right? So if you balance a character to be a KOF zoner, it will not happen because of that. So we have games like, that's something that Clayton Chapman actually says, that we have games like, God fucking damn. The League of Legends game, we actually have like no zoning, technically speaking. You know the fireball that I thought it was a fireball? It's not even a fireball. It's like, it's some modern bullshit. It's like a move that, it's like a chain move. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. Yeah, see how I couldn't parry that shit? Holy. You gotta dodge the claw. God damn it. Wrong style. I parried that shit, okay. Oh, buddy, like... God damn. So we have a bunch of people advising like companies, and the only thing that they understand, especially because I really think that this professional shit only started to actually happen when Street Fighter 4, right? We have a bunch of Marvel players, a bunch of Street Fighter players, Street Fighter 4 especially. So their idea of balance is like, yeah, let's make everything combo, everything has some stupid ass, like, and then when they actually try, and that's like raw opinion in this bullshit, right? Because let me for example take Luke, for example, or Ed, when they try to explore the idea of, buddy, like, this claw's too good, god damn. Street Fighter 5 and not Street Fighter 6, because Street Fighter 6 is other people, but Street Fighter 5 is a game that tried to explore the idea of a simpler character, right? And then they come up with Ed and Luke, and those characters are straight up like weird. They're weird, they're garbage in some ways. Because I have some examples, a lot of examples actually, that of characters that are really, they're easier to play. They are on the easier side, and you still need to play the fucking game, right? You still need to do whatever you have to do. But since the gameplay doesn't even, like, they can't even fathom the idea of a gameplay different than comboing shit. They're like, oh, okay, so the character combos and the character combos and the character combos and the character combos. It's really annoying if you think about it. Man, this fucking parry system fucking sucks. God damn. He just... Oh, damn. Okay. I really think they changed up the parry window. There's no way that I'm missing that much. See that one? Like, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about Ed in even Luke. They did not need the Sharyu and 2 buttons, right? Ed did not need a Sharyu and 2 buttons to make him easier to play. Because a character like the original Paul is really easy to play. It's easy to play. And he doesn't have a fucking Sharyu. How about that? Right? It's kind of weird to even think that you need a that strong of a tool to make the character easy. See, did I get that shit right? This game is so... I parried the claw? Let me drink some water. The target is coming off somehow. I'm starting to spam because I what? Yeah, I'm starting to spam block because I cannot time it. wrong stance. You know, let me rant about YouTube a little bit. A little bit, chat. If you don't mind. Like, I wish some of the ideas I had to making videos were actually someone else's idea, right? So I didn't need to do the fucking video. Because I think there's like, it's so difficult. It's so fucking difficult. Like, man, in this topic of single player and fighting game, right? You can have a good opinion, or you can have the same opinion that people have, right? It's kind of, it's shit in a certain way. It's shit. It's shit. Like, when Maximilian, right? Let's get Maximilian or Sajam did a video talking about single player and fighting games. I'm being honest, anybody else doesn't need to talk about it. On God. Because you guys never added shit. You guys never added shit. People talk, people don't remember about the content farms. People talk about nowadays about content farms on people, right? Like, people use the term locals, right? But people don't remember the YouTube fighting game content farms, because holy shit, these people ain't talking about shit. Like, if I had a dime, right? I remember, I actually watched this stuff to know what people are thinking, but it seems that everybody is just copying the famous guy take, right? People stopped exercising their free will out of nowhere. That's what I'm saying. They gave up on their free will. You can have like any opinion, you know that. You could say that fighting games should be basically dating sims. Did you know that? You could actually do it. You could actually create an argument that is totally stupid, but you can actually have a cool argument instead of having like, oh yes, Street Fighter 6 story mode, so good. Virtual Fighter 4 tutorial mode, the best. And I'm not saying that those two are wrong, but it's like, yeah, did you know that the history of fighting games has more than fucking 3 games? Crazy. It's sad because my latest video actually illustrate that, because everybody is like eager to hop on the idea of talking about Ingrid, right? But nobody really wanna talk about Ingrid. People even sharing some wrong information. And you know, who cares at the end of the day? You see my video and you can expect that it's the same shit that everybody put out. Right? But it's not. Sadly, it's not. turn up streaming to 0. Let's change that. End your life. Just cut the life support, buddy. Why can't I jump? Why can't I jump right there? Doesn't make sense. The parry just doesn't fucking work. I swear it doesn't work, buddy. I got there. Ah, god damn. God fucking damn, man. There's no way that I'm in the right fighting style and cannot get a parry right there. Thank you for the tracking, god, man. You ever planned around something and you still get hit a lot? Yeah. You know, it's something that Sifu actually did that I like in this game. They didn't do it. Is that this game tries to... This game is kind of crazy if you think about it, right? Because they are copying the... This game kind of copies the Dark Souls controller system. So L2 is actually the button that you use to parry. And Sifu did to be the... Sifu did to be the R1 because the trigger buttons, they are sometimes they're only activated when you press. You go all the way down, you know. This game has this problem, and I could change that shit, but now I'm just... This game got me addicted to the L2, right? To change mid-game is like, it's horrible. I changed stances so I couldn't get the parry. Bro, I just got a parry. I think it's also weird about the... What I think is weird about... Talking about the idea of content farms, right? Talking about the idea that people are not having an opinion. They're just copying someone else's opinion, right? Is that my opinion kinda should be more popular because of the timing that the games that existed at the time were really way more popular than the games nowadays, or even at the time that people glazed the 46 combo, or even at the time that people are trying to glaze fighting games. But somehow it's like nobody was paying attention back in the 2000s, right? If you pay attention, there is a way more, let's say, coherent opinion than those spilled nowadays. But people just straight up ignore it. Oh no, I hate that enemy. Yeah, you gotta do that shit. Oh, I like the way the snipers work in this game. God damn. I also hate the idea that people will glaze indies, right? Or indie fighting games. Not because they don't deserve, like, any attention. It's because they don't realize how hard it is to create a fighting game. The functional part of the fighting game is like the hardest shit ever. Let's say you want to add a single player mode that would be coherent on the year of 2025. Like, bro, we're talking about straight, like, bullshit. Every time there is a gap on, let's say every time there is a gap on the market, like, people try to say that who will fill that gap will be the indie whatever, but it's not like that at all. Sometimes I wish I could just create a proof of concept, like 4 characters in story mode hard, to see if people would actually play the game. Because I believe that I didn't press the dodge button. What the fuck? That's the problem with the target shit. Bro, how many people are in this bitch? I can't believe that that parry didn't go. Yeah, the dodge didn't go through also. If I'm being honest, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I can only play this game with the red parry. I'm that bad, maybe? When there's 2 of these, there's 3 of them? God damn! It's the same. The idea that an indie can actually fill the gap that fighting games are needing right now is the same idea that if you lose your job, they will put a hobo in your place. It's like, yeah, sure. Just because there is a human being that exists close to the fucking place is not doesn't mean that somebody will actually be valuable in some way. How? I'm done with trying to parry this shit. I say I'm done trying to parry and then I start to parry. Holy shit. Yo, how many enemies again? I swear to God, I killed the whole battalion of this shit. I'm even using items now, like... Do you really need anyone else? Come break me down. Maybe I should work on some of those videos. I have a lot of ideas, and sometimes I don't know which one of them should I pick. Sometimes I don't know which one of them should I pick. And sometimes I actually create them, you know, the reception is like, who gives a shit? Sometimes some videos are really, not like I wish there was more people, like for me to get some money, money. But it's like, I wish there was enough people just so the word could get around. Because imagine you have like a good ass take on something, but the take will always boil down to how many people will actually listen to. You will be forever like, you're basically bounded to that video forever. So then because of that, then you realize why people start to, when they find something that actually works on YouTube, they start to like go down the route of milking the shit out of it. You know, people talking about WoW games, for example. The reason why they sit down and complain about that shit all day is because it's the only way they get the fucking view. What they gonna do? There's a market of people that will sit down and listen to the same take like 30 times. But there's not a market of people that are interested in like discussing even. Yeah, buddy. Why? 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 The claw's so fucking annoying. God fucking damn. Sometimes that shit has like infinite fucking range. And out of nowhere it misses 2 times. Something. I'm a kick promoter, and I don't care, Ulysses. I'm sorry. I don't really care. You could be fucking Jesus Christ. I don't really care. Get the fuck out. I'm done with this shit. So yeah, going back to the I really wish like there was a way to actually, you know, let's say you have that really actually shows like more about the human nature than it actually should. Because let's say that you have some take about something that is really peculiar and you can explain it and you have all the information you study like your whole life to give that fucking thing. It doesn't matter if nobody sees it, right? So it's better for you to work on the not even communication skills. It's not communication skills. It's like it's better for you to actually work on having the platform to talk shit than to actually work on the takes, right? Working on the takes, no impact. And to be honest, I like that. I like that. Because when you could actually sit down and, technically speaking, work on your take, people actually get capped. You can actually expect there is at least one kind soul that will have the platform in, give like a platform to the take. It's better than, you know, the other fucking way around. In the midst of that, we have what? Basically me and everyone else trying to clickbait your ass to click on a fucking video. But then you click on the video and it's basically Sage M Steak with some guy with a shittier voice. That's crazy. I'm kind of getting tired. So I think I'm gonna drop this shit and go do some other shit. Thanks everybody for watching. You know, maybe Heritage is not the version for me to play. You know, goodbye chat.